I have known who God was like my whole life. I went to church like starting at a pretty young age, but I don't really think that I understood like the power of who he is and like the impact that he has on my life until I went through some hardships. Whenever I was, I think 8 or 9, my parents sat my brother and I down and told us that they were getting a divorce and that my brother and I would be moving away and we would visit Dad on the weekends. They were like, oh, you'll get 2 Christmases and 2 birthdays, like it's gonna be awesome. I sat my mother down and told her about all of the things that my dad had done whenever they were married, from the time that I was, I think 6 or 7 until they got the divorce. He had been abusing me and my brother physically, mentally, emotionally, and sexually. It was extremely hard. Whenever I was a freshman in high school, 2nd semester, I wanted to know my dad. I hadn't seen him in 6 years or talked to him in 6 years. And so I messaged him on Facebook, which I wasn't even allowed to have. And he told me that he was different, he had changed. I ended up running away. Like, my mom catch me for doing it. She like boarded up my windows, grounded me, whatnot, but I wanted to do it and he picked me up from school. I hadn't seen this man in 6 years, and I was moving in with him and his girlfriend, who at the time was 22, and he was, I want to say 36. I think after a month of my mom not hearing from me, she started to get worried, and my mom showed up on the front door whenever they were both sleeping to check on me, and I said, yeah, everything's good, I'm great. But it wasn't. And she drove away, and I just remember crying my eyes out. And I went and woke my dad up, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. I said, my mom just showed up. She wants me to be able to visit. And he said, no, you either live with your mom or you live here. You're not going to be bouncing back and forth and going on visits and stuff. We're not doing that. He said, okay, I'll live with my mom. And he hit me. And it was close fist, and he had like started like hitting me, but it wasn't bad. And I turned around and I was like, hit me again. And I like slapped him on his arm. He grabbed me by my hair and picked me up from where I was sitting and put me on the floor. And he got on top of me and was beating me over and over and over again, in the face, in the arms, in the chest. And it felt like forever. And I was screaming and yelling for help. And his wife comes running in and she just stands there. And it felt like ages that she was standing there over us while he was just beating me. And she got him off of me. And I said something else, and he grabbed me again and knocked me on the floor, and she kept him from getting on me again. I packed up my bags. I had a bag, a purse, and I had my little dog who had been dropped off. And he drove me back to my hometown of Houston, Missouri in 30 minutes, which normally it would take an hour. That was the hardest thing that I think I've ever been through. And I had a history of being depressed and wallowing, and I could have done that. I could have stayed in my room all day and not showered, or I could have done any number of things. But instead, I prayed. I prayed for just one more day that God would get me out of it, and I prayed for my dad and for his wife that, like, he would be able to heal from whatever had happened in his past that caused him to act like this. I prayed that she would be able to keep from getting hurt herself. God delivered, and he got me out, and I was a changed person. Like, I had been super disrespectful and rude to my mom and just like a Hellcat. And I made a complete turnaround, and I have such a strong relationship with God now because of what I went through, and I've learned to lean on him and put my faith in him, because he can get me out of anything and through anything. I'm Leah, and this is me.